We are here again with another webinar and exciting webinars in the series of webinars and information dissemination that helps us all strengthen our own, ourselves so that we can take care of our health and reduce dependency on others. It's very exciting. I find that it's really very empowering that this all of us have the capacity and the capability to become specialists. Just ordinary people can become experts in so many things, or the things that are necessary for us to heal ourselves when we have faced day-to-day problems and issues. So today I'm very happy we have Sri Gupta ji with us, and he's going to talk to us about this Chinese technique called PaidaLajin. But before he starts, telling us more about it, I just know PaidaLajin means lapping and stretching. So I would really love for him to give us a little introduction about himself. He has been on our group and been associated with us for a long time. So Gupta ji, please tell us how your journey began and how you became interested in all this, and let us use this opportunity to get familiar with a very special member who is there within us.
Thank you. And I will go slowly, and as the talk progresses, you will know more about me. So I don't think I have to formally tell you about me, but I've been interested in alternative techniques for a long time, and I've been practicing starting right from yoga from India and so many other things at this time. But this is a very special technique, and I'll give you a little bit of background on it. But before I go into the technique itself, a few housekeeping things. The first thing, please keep yourself in mute till you have to speak. And I'd prefer if you type something in chat, if you have a question or something that you want to, while I'm talking in between, you have some query, please type in the chat, and Chaviji she can read it out or interrupt me at an appropriate moment. The other thing you have to remember, and because we're living in the United States, we are not medical professionals. Either Chaviji or I, we are not medical professionals. We are not giving any medical advice. And any time you're in doubt, please consult your medical professional. So that is a disclaimer, and this is a detailed disclaimer. I'm not going to read it out. I'm going to take half an hour to read this. So a lot of time we share our slides. So in case you're interested in the slide, you get a copy of the slide. It is good to have this disclaimer in place. All right. So let me tell you what happened and how did I come to know about this technique. And as you probably know, not many people have heard about this technique, PaidaLajin. They're two words, Chinese, Paida and Lajin. Paida means to tap or slap, and Lajin means stretch, two words in Chinese. So I have been interested in Ayurveda for the last 3-4 years, and I was doing some search on internet on Ayurveda. And you know what happens is when you're looking at a video on YouTube, it gives you 4 or 5 other options. Say, hey, you're looking at this, you might want to look at these as well. So out of them, there was a video in which a Chinese master was talking to a lady in Scotland at the end of a conference. So I was interested because I have lived in Scotland for a few years. So I was interested, what is this Chinese master doing in Scotland? So I decided to watch that video. And that was a very interesting video, this Chinese master. So he said that he practices a technique which is very simple, and that got my curiosity going. It is very simple, easy to learn. Of course, curiosity goes to a higher level. You can do it anytime, anywhere. Of course, what else do you want? No money. Easy to learn, no money involved. And it can address any symptom in the body, right? So it sounds like a panacea, right? Everybody wants to learn this kind of thing. I said, I want to know more. So I started trying it at my home. with whatever I could understand about it. And there were many more videos about it on Google. Then I heard through the internet that there is a workshop in Hong Kong about this back in 2018 in September. So I wrote to them and I said, I don't know Chinese. And they wrote back, oh, we have people who speak English, so you're okay, come. So I went there. And then I learned it correctly. It was very powerful. And then since then, I have seen so much with this technique, and I've run many workshops, and in my home, people come and we do it, and I've seen so many healings, and some of them are almost miraculous. So before I describe the technique, I'll share some of the experiences. So I went to Sai Baba Ashram 2019, so about 2.5 years ago, in November. And the ashram, I told some of the senior people there that I do this technique and it's useful. And they were very interested. They said, no, we want to know about it. So they gave me a room and said, why don't you do it here? So I was there for 3 weeks. So I could use the room morning and evening. And so they announced it that this guy is doing this technique. Anybody wants to. So people used to come and many people benefited from it. And I would hold these sessions morning and afternoons and sometime, and all kind of people. There were some state ministers who came. Sai Baba Ashram is a very popular place. I hear people from all over the world who come. So people from all the countries, and there were instances where a group of Russian wanted this technique, but they didn't speak any English, and I spoke no Russian. So somebody else will translate it, and I was talking. It was amazing experience. So let me tell you one example of healing. So there was a young man who was living in the ashram. He had come a few months back, and he was walking down the stairs. And then his foot slipped somehow, and he twisted his ankle badly. And he was in great pain. He went to the local hospital, and this gave him painkillers, 2 weeks rest. Don't do anything, just lie in the bed. He heard that this thing is going on. This guy is doing these sessions on Chinese technique. So he came there and he had this crutch to walk. And I asked him what happened. And of course, he told me his story. And I said, okay. And I got him to do about 45 minutes, this technique. And after 45 minutes, he put the crutch down, and that was breakfast time. And both of us walked to the canteen. No support. And that kind of stuff has happened multiple times. And there's so many. I mean, I can tell you half a day, story after story, the kind of healings that I have seen. And I tell you, sometimes I wouldn't believe myself. What is happening? How can that happen? And when I was going to India once, I stopped in the UK. I used to live in UK. I stopped in UK, and then between, of course, I have several friends, stayed with friends, and told them I do this technique, and everybody's curious, right? Everybody, anybody at our age, people have problems in the body. As soon as you say something special, they all want to know. And of course, we had 2 or 3 different gatherings. We did all of this, and so many stuff. There also one gentleman. He also came in a small crutch, one-hand crutch. And I asked him, what is wrong with you? He said, what is not wrong with me? I keep all the specialists busy here in the UK. We did this 45 minutes later. He was jumping up and down. I don't need the crutch anymore. I mean, so the kind of things can happen. But does everybody benefit from it? I don't know. But there are several who do. And you never know, you could be one of them, right, who benefits from it. This is another tool in your toolbox, which you can use at the appropriate time. Okay, so now we'll start easing ourselves into this technique. So the very first thing we have to remember We are part of Mother Nature. This human body is given to us by Mother Nature. It's a very powerful being. And our body is capable of healing itself. And in Sanskrit, there's a saying, Amritya Putra, you are born of immortality, you're a child of immortality. And really, that means your body is very, very powerful. Just think of this. You eat an apple, right? You eat a piece of bread, you eat a banana, you eat anything. And a few hours later, the body is converted into blood and bones, and later on muscles and nerves. Which machine or equipment can do that? Your body is so powerful, right? It can convert any food into blood, right? So the same body can heal itself. You do not need any medicine or anything to heal it. The other thing is the body always talks to you. You just have to listen to it. So when the body is hungry, you feel the hunger, you feel the thirst. You pinch somewhere, you feel the pain. Body says there's something wrong here. Cough, sneeze, fever. These are the body's means of communicating with you. All we have to do is listen, and then everything will be fine. The other thing is, body foundation is health. And you really have to work very hard to become ill. To grab diabetes, you have to work many, many years, right, with poor lifestyle. And then body gives up and you get diabetic. So really, body is always healthy. Illness is an aberration, which really you have earned. It's not the other way around. Okay, so now we'll go into the Chinese system. So please, anytime you have any question, because I'll go fast and I'll keep at a high level, very simple. I won't go into the depth. So please ask if you have anything that you don't follow what I'm saying here. So in the Chinese system, the body has meridians. And for the Indian people, we call them the nadis. They're all over the body, where the energy flows. In Chinese, they call it the qi, and Indian system is called the prana vayu. It flows everywhere. And you have to have the balance between two opposite energies, yin and the yang. One is positive, but is negative. But negative really doesn't mean it's bad. It's bad, because you still need it. You need the balance. An Indian prana system, the nadi system, these are the Ida and the Pingla, the sun and the moon, the balance of that. So, and you probably have, I think most of you probably know the acupuncture. So acupuncturist, he works on the same meridian system. So all the Chinese acupressure, acupuncture, qigong, tai chi, any of these things you can think of, they all work on the same meridian system. Right? While the Indian system is the marma points and the chakra system. And there's a way to map them, but again, this is not the topic discussion. So what is a disease? So this qi, the energy, has to flow through the meridians. These, remember, meridians are invisible channels where the energy flows. These are invisible channels. So the disease happens when there's a blockage in the flow of the energy. Very simple. So energy has to go from here to here, and it's a blockage, energy doesn't go. Obvious, right? There will be a problem. You'll get a headache, you get a heartache, whatever. So blockage is the problem. Blockage, remember, in the flow of energy, right? So the solution, remove the blockage. right? Very simple, right? If there's a blockage, just remove the blockage, energy will flow freely and your headache will be gone. That's all it is, right? Okay, and this is, this is a famous symbol of yin and the yang. So here there is one meridian. So the meridian, let me just go back. Just move here. Let me move this thing out here. So here you see for the hand, there is a meridian going like this. This is called the heart meridian. It goes into your. So the energy has to flow through this heart meridian. And remember, heart is very important. In the Chinese system, heart is the king of the body, because that is where all the blood and all the energy, all the nutrition is controlled. That's where the pressure built up. That's the king. So that heart has to be always strengthened. Very powerful thing. Right? So you could have a blockage in this meridian. So please mute yourself. Somebody speaking. So what we have to do is, so let's assume you have a blockage in this meridian. So how do we remove that blockage? So when the acupuncturist, what the acupuncturist does is takes a needle, and along this meridian, you see there's several points here, puts the needle in one of these points and says, let me see, I think the blockage is in this point. He puts the needle there. If it doesn't work, he moves on and finds another spot. The thing that happens is, for an acupuncturist, to become an acupuncturist, you need a lot of training and experience, right? So you have to go to a master and they'll teach you, et cetera, et cetera. So the same Chinese masters, they said, acupuncturists need a lot of experience, a lot of training, specialization. Can we come with a technique where we do not need any of the specialization? Another thing is, like if you're alone, if you're an acupuncturist, how many patients can you do in a day? Let's say you take a patient, you take half an hour for one patient. So in a day, 8 hours, you do 16, 20, 25, 30, you stretch your day, 30, 35 patients a day. So when you do this PaidaLajin, you'll see you can do thousands at the same time. So the same Chinese said, let's come with a technique where you do not need specialization. And this is where they came. So to remove, rather than a needle, all you have to do is just tap. So I'll show you. So the most important point for the heart meridian is this inner elbow. Can everybody see? Yeah, the inner elbow. All you do is just tap like this. So when you tap, so what happens is, this is something like IO resonance. So what that means is, resonance is a frequency. So when I'm tapping, with this sound, I'm putting energy and there's frequencies generated. And different frequencies go through the meridian and then they unblock it. So that's called the bioresonance. It's a way to understand it. So when you tap, so a couple of things happen. When you tap like this, first thing, you feel pain at this point. Pain is such an important, so I'm going to say something. It sounds a little strange. Pain is your friend. Pain is not an enemy. And you know why? God created pain for a reason. Let's say there was no pain, right? There's a fire, and you walk over the fire. Right now, you know the pain caused by the fire, that this is dangerous, you won't go near it. But if there's no pain, you could walk under the fire and burn the whole body. Pain is your friend. So here, when you tap, there's a pain. So that pain indicates there's a problem. So remember, if there's a headache, that means there's a problem in the body. That's why the headache happened, right? You pinch a needle, and it pains, so you know there's something wrong. You have to take out the needle because of the pain. If there was no pain, you won't know the needle wasn't there. So it is so important, this pain. So pain is your friend. So the pain indicates that you're problem. So when you tap and you have pain, you know there's a blockage somewhere in the meridian. And the beauty is the same pain that indicates that you have a problem also heals it. So the pain will fix the problem. It will remove the blockage. So very simple. So the pain is a diagnosis tool, and it also fixes it. So that's all you have to do. Just tap, feel the pain, you know there's a problem, and you also know that it's getting fixed.
Very quickly, Gupta ji, there are the two questions. So is there any
Sure.
particular way to tap? And also, do we have to tap on the skin directly, or is it okay to tap on the clothes?
Very good question. And we're going to do it all together now, right? Everybody will practice along with me, right? And this, I see a few more people who have been practicing this for some time. So what you want to do is, you always want to do directly on the skin, because that is where you have maximum transfer of energy. If you put a piece of cloth over it and then do it, you'll feel it. The impact is not much, and it'll take a while to generate a pain.
Also, it will change the quality of the sound. There is, I don't know if you are, because you said sound is important.
Yes, yeah. So you want to make sure that the most of the surface of this hand
There you are.
touches the skin. So you don't want to cup it so there is an air pocket in between. So try to do the maximum contact. Okay, so if everybody's ready, let's try. Let me just put in a mode so I can see almost everybody. There's a lot of people here. So. Yeah, well, I can only see if you turn your videos on, right? So, well, I'll try to see whoever I can. So just do with the rhythm, my rhythm. Just follow my rhythm. Not too fast, not too slow. Yeah, I'm just at the inner elbow, tapping like this. And you tap as hard as you can. Maximum, remember, you have to have pain. If there is no pain, there's no gain, right? And tap as hard as you can tolerate. There.
Yes, because even when you sometimes get acupressure done, you know, the expert, the way they press it, it invariably causes pain.
It can, yes, yeah, yes. And there's a pain inside the body anyway, right? It as hard as you can. So, anybody feel pain?
Yes, if you continue. And how many times do we have to do this? For how long? I mean,
I see that there are like blue spots developed, 3 of them.
Wonderful. I was going to go there, but you already found them. Anybody else get some spot? So Padma, did you also get painful?
Yeah, it's pain in the sense that because I am tapping, that is the pain. I think now it is trying to fade away, but at the time the pain was more. And
okay.
After 5-6 taps only, I see three circles of that is blue.
Can you show it to everybody on the camera?
I don't know. Can you see me? I don't know.
Yeah. Just bring it a little bit closer.
Can you see my hand?
You may have to stand up and just put it. Yeah, you can see, right? These blue spots.
That was
there
fast. She got that right now? That was fast.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, Pablo.
Wow.
So what happens is when you're tapping like this, and this is the beauty of it, the toxins that were in the body. So remember, we are taking in toxins in the body through air, through water, the food, all the time. And the body tries to remove them, but cannot remove all of them, and it stores, and they're stored in the joints. So when you tap like this, those toxins that body could not remove, they become mobile, they come to the surface. And those are the ones that you see the spots. So that is good news. Your toxins become mobile, they come to the surface, and now body will be able to remove them. They will go through the different mechanisms like the poo, through the pee, through the sweat, whatever. They will go away. So in Chinese, they call Sha, S-H-A.
Okay.
Right.
Do you
So
see there is some red spots below that? There are 3
yes,
blue and there is red also. That was not there before.
yeah, they will probably grow for a few more minutes, and more you tap, the more will come out. So you have a lot of toxin in the body.
Should I tap more?
They are coming out, which is good news.
Should I tap
There
more?
could be more. So oh, of course, yeah, you can continue tapping, yes, and you should tap both the inner elbows. So what we normally do is we hold, yeah, both, yeah, because you have both. The meridians are symmetric; they're both the sides, the meridians.
Okay. Okay.
So normally we hold like a workshop, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and then we do the whole thing systematically, and that's how we learn. So that is what just Padma just got. That is called the Sha. So you're doing 2 things: removing the blockage as well as removing the toxins. Just by doing this one thing, right? You find out that you have a blockage in that meridian. So here you have the heart meridian, you have the lung meridians. In those meridians, your blockage plus your toxins in the joints, they are coming out. So it's a very, very powerful technique. Is everybody okay so far?
Yes, but I have a question, if you
Sure.
don't mind. So does that mean that you will get blue spots only in that meridian where there is a blockage? So if somebody is not getting that blue spot in the heart meridian, can we conclude that that meridian is fine, it's flowing well?
So just remember, these are 2 different things. One is toxins, the other is blockage. Blockage is in this invisible energy chi flow. So that is different, and toxins is independent. So toxin is a physical toxin accumulated somewhere in the joint. Normally it accumulates in the joints because you have such a big surface area where they can lodge. So the toxins are coming out in that area, but it doesn't mean that other places, there could be toxins as well. So if you tap here, you can get toxins. They can come out. So any part of the body, they can come out. It depends on where they are. And normally we don't know where they are. So systematically, so because we want to clear blockages in the heart meridian. So this joint is the most important joint because the heart meridian goes through this joint. Plus the lung meridian also goes through the joint. So actually, when you get any cough and cold, you do this. It will give you a lot of relief along this meridian, a lot of relief. And this is really practical. Thousands of people have done it. So it's not just my experience. So anytime you have a headache, you feel nauseated, you get vertigo, just do this. In fact, there's so many examples where people have collapsed in the airplane, in public places, and you start just tapping these, both the arms, and over 85% of the time, people stand up. While if you do CPR, the traditional CPR, the success rate there is 10 to 15% traditional CPR. So it's something, so these are small tricks. Once you learn, it can go a long way, very long way.
So how long does it typically need for revival of such an example that you gave? You know, how long does one have to tap, or how long, if it is not resuscitating, how long for a normal like we are doing now, does it take for this blue marks to appear or some kind of sign, or does it have to appear in every case, in every person, or, you know, or it may be some other part of the body, that needs to be tapped or stretched, or which I guess we will come to.
Well, so that's a good question, right? So you cannot say how long it will take. For Padma, it just took less than 2 minutes to come out. For you, probably nothing came out so far. Right. So some people, it takes 2 minutes. I've seen people, I've done like 2 or 3 times. That's it, very lightly, and it came out. And I've done for people for 15 minutes, and it didn't come out for 15 minutes, and then came out. Some people, it might take 2 or 3 different attempts, 15 minutes each or something, then comes out. But there is really no time limit, upper time limit on how long you can do. The main guideline is as long as you can tolerate. So initially the pain is a little bit of deterrent in the mind, and we think, oh boy, what is happening? This pain, I'm doing harm to my body. But once it gives you relief, it starts growing on you. You start loving it. I mean, I do every day. And because the body speaks to you, and the body says, oh, this is good. Continue. I want more of it. That's what it is. So your purpose is to remove toxins from as many locations of the body as you can. So you start here. Once you've done enough here and you know nothing is coming out, you move on. So there are 4 main points in the body, 4 main joints. So this is the heart and the lung meridian. Then the intestines are back of this hand. You see, there's so many joints here. So you tap on them. Then the third one is the knee, especially the back of the knee. The kidney meridian goes to the back of the knee.
Sir, can you show me the second one, sir? Please, again.
The hand.
Okay.
Upper hand. Top
So
of the
I got the blue spots on both the hands. Does that mean that I have a lot of toxins? And is it okay that I should do every day?
Keep doing it till nothing comes out anymore. But it doesn't mean you have more toxins than, let's say, Chaviji. I'm not picking on her, but Chaviji. All it means is your toxins are more mobile. Could be your toxins are more mobile than hers.
Okay.
So they're coming out quickly, which is good news. So maybe she doesn't have any, or maybe hers are so deep they are not come out yet. There could be many reasons. We don't know what is inside, but good news is yours is coming out. That's a good news.
Okay.
So yeah, please continue. Absolutely continue. And also the back of the hand. And you'll find many people, when they do the back of the hand, and if they have constipation, pretty soon you'll just relieve yourself. And I've seen it. So if you want to do this, you have traveled and you have a problem in passing, then you just do this. And I think over 80% of the time, it will relieve. So simple thing, the only deterrent here is the pain. The only problem that people have is the pain, which is really not a big deal. Once you learn it, you love it. It's easy. Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Do you have anything for the back pain?
We will get there.
Thank you.
Yeah, so hold that thought. If I forget, just remind me later on.
Sorry, so the back of the hand is for the intestine? Is that the
yes.
intestine? Okay.
Yes. And you know the importance of intestine, what happens in intestines? What is the importance of the intestines? It's the immune system resides in the gut. So it strengthens your immune system. So the other thing you have to remember, let's say you tap here and there's no pain, then you don't want to do it anymore because no pain, no gain. Right. So pain, remember, pain indicates that you have a problem and the pain will fix it. So if you have no problem, there's no pain, that means you have no problem, then there's no gain, right? You're wasting your time. Just move on.
I have noticed is that compared to wrist and the back of the elbow, right? Elbow, I had a pain and I immediately got them. But on the wrist, right? I did not have a pain. I did. but I did not have a pain at that much at all.
It should not be wrist. It should be on the top of the hand.
Yeah, that's where it is bones, right?
Yeah, all the joint. And what you do is when you tap it, don't keep your hand on the air. Put it on your lap or something. Put on something.
Okay.
So it is held because it is such a light thing. Otherwise, you don't get the impact.
I'm actually getting a lot of pain in my hand while doing that. In the other place, the elbow, it did not hurt at all. I mean, pain was there, it got red, but the back of the hand is hurting. So that means there's something in the intestine, is it? And
So
it's
that meridian, yeah, that meridian has a blockage. That's what it means. Meridian, remember, that meridian has a blockage, and the same pain that you're feeling will also remove that blockage.
Thank you. Yeah. So I should do it every day for like 10 minutes, both the hands?
Well, I mean, if you can do for 30 minutes each hand, that's okay too. It depends on how much time you have and what is the need. If you have terrible problem in your guts, then you might want to do it. I mean, I've known people who do many, many hours because they have a serious, I know somebody has a cancer. So there have been ladies who had cancer in the breast and they just tapped on the cancer, on the lump for hours and hours. It was painful, and at the end of the day, it just went away. They didn't have to spend thousands of dollars and a lot of pain and surgery and all those kind of things and get back to normal life.
So from what I'm understanding, if you're tapping and let's say if there's no pain and there's none of the bluishness or the bruising kind of effect, that means there's no toxin. And if there's no pain or the pain subsides, it means the blockage has been cleared. Is that correct? I'm understanding.
Absolutely, you got it exactly right. That's what it is. Yep.
I have a question.
Wow, I'm so glad you picked it up, right? People have picked it up so quickly. It's such a simple technique, right? It's not, there's no rocket science here.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah, my question is, you mentioned earlier the liver, the kidney and the heart. What is the difference? Which side is this the same spot for both or is two different spots?
No, so the heart is the inner elbow.
Right.
Kidney is the knee. The knee, under the knee. Kidney meridian goes in the knee.
Oh, so you bit in your knee.
Yes, yeah. I mean, because of the Zoom call is not that easy to, if you're in person, right? If you're face to face, it'll be so easy to show. So what we normally do is we hold workshops.
Yeah,
And
so
workshop
right
people get together and we do it together. You know, two people, we form 2 or 3 group of 3 people. So 2 people will be tapping, one will be tapping by this hand, the other will be tapping this hand, then we'll rotate and do simultaneously. If somebody else does it on you, they can be a little bit more harsh. While you're doing yourself, as soon as you feel pain, you probably reduce it. Yeah.
Yeah. My question is, this is for the heart, and then your knee will be for the kidney.
Yes.
Kidney, yeah. Right on the knee, or below or up.
The below, the back of the knee. The back of the knee is the kidney meridian.
But below the knee.
Behind the knee.
Behind.
Oh,
the joint. Remember everything? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so we have to tap behind the knee if we have knee pain?
Behind the knee, yes. I'll show you, there's an image later on.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll skip this. Here, there's an image here. You can see the knee. Oh, went away. Can you see this? So this is the back of the knee. You see these black spots? This is what Padma had in her hand. Very similar.
Yeah.
So this is where the kidney meridian goes.
Oh.
So it's difficult to tap the knee behind, right? So is that why you use the pedal?
Well, you can use the pedal. It's much easier if you're doing yourself, but if somebody else does it, well, this was done in a workshop and then other people were tapping the knee behind. So it's much more powerful.
Because it's difficult to tap behind the knee unless, like this.
Yes, no, you're right. So we have, you can buy some of these pedals. It looks like a hand. And you can, then it's much easier to do behind the knee, on the back.
Right on that intersection, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The joint, really. We call it the joint.
Right on
Yeah.
the, yeah.
Okay, so let me just move on. So remember, I just want to summarize. Very important principle, no pain, no gain. You're trying to remove the blockage in the meridians. The other thing, that blue spot is called the Sha, S-H-A. It really means, in Chinese, means toxic blood, right? You want to remove the toxins. Also, what helps when you're doing this, and this is when we have workshops, is fasting. Don't eat that much, eat very light. So the body's energy is used in removing the toxins, removing blockage, rather than digesting the food. So that is the idea here. The other thing is, heat is your friend, cold is your enemy, because cold contracts and cold can do you harm. So keep yourselves very warm. And of course, vegetarian food is best. And they say eat grains, and that's where millets come in. Millet is extremely powerful and complementary to this. And of course, mentally do meditation. So that is the Paida part. Remember, this is the tapping part, and the second part is the Lajin, or the stretch. Right? So
Before we move on, sorry. You said there are 5 important places to tap. You covered 3. One is the behind the knee, one is the heart, and one is this. Which are the other 2?
oh, sorry, there's a 4. Yes, I'm glad you reminded me. It's just the foot. So the foot is full of joints. So all around the foot. Right. So
All around. Can we show the picture? So, and also you said you will show for the back pain too.
We'll go after the stretch, yeah? Because when you stretch, we'll cover the back pain. So you see
And
this
also,
mannequin, right? So this is the foot. So that is the fourth.
so back of
And
the
this is-
foot or the back?
All around, bottom, ear, the ankle, all this foot, whole foot.
So you just need to tap everywhere.
Yes, yeah, it takes time. It takes time to do it. But this is the last you do. Very first, remember, you have to do in a sequence. And I'll show you the sequence later on. I'll tell you the right sequence.
Okay.
Yeah, so just hold that thought, right? So the knee is the back of the knee here. This is the back of the knee. Yeah, so let me show you the stretch. This won't take very long. So what happens is, with age, all the ligaments, the tendons, they contract because of the cold, right? You eat ice cream, you go walk on the cold, they contract. When they contract, they inhibit the flow of nutrition from one part of the body to another, and that causes problems. The worst is the middle of the body, between the upper part and the lower part of the body. So that joint, that is where the maximum, that's why older age, legs are the first one that give way. So all you do is a stretch. It's very simple stretch. Let me, there's an image here, and I'll show you. There's a bench behind me. So you can see this in this image here. So it's a bench. Just lie on the bench and one leg up, and there's one leg hanging down. So let me just do this, see whether you can. So I have a bench just behind me. This is very powerful. There's no movement. All you do is you just lie down, your hands are like this, and one leg is up and one leg is hanging down. That's all you have to do. And just lie there as long as you can. But you have to have pain. You get pain in the knee. Normally you get the pain in the knee and you get pain in the thigh because of the stretch. So if you have contraction, and when you do this, it starts to stretch it and you feel the pain. So if you feel the pain, you know there is contraction. If there's no pain, no contraction. And you just keep stretching, just keep lying there, and the pain continues, and pain, remember, pain heals it. So the contraction slowly goes away.
But why are we doing this? This is for what? Pain in the back?
No,
Or
I
pain
just
on the...
remember, remove the contraction, because as you age, there's a contraction in tendons and the ligaments and muscles, and you want to bring them back to their original shape. That's why you do it. Right. So
So I
let me just show you. So I have a bench. This is the special bench I brought from Hong Kong. You can buy it on Amazon and on the internet. You can see me, right?
Yes, yes.
So there's a bench here. I put my leg here up,
But you know, the people can
leg
do-
vertically, one leg hanging down, and here like this.
if we don't have the bench, can we do it on the doorway? One leg on the wall, on the door, and the other one through, like a hamstring stretch?
Absolutely. You guys are one step ahead of me. Exactly, you can do it exactly like that. Yes, that works. So what happens is, so when the first time I did this, it was so painful. This leg, I could not keep it straight. It was like a 45-degree angle like this. And even then, I couldn't last more than a minute. It was so painful. Now I can do it as long as I want. So
if someone doesn't have, like, say I've got quite good hamstrings, right? If I don't have pain behind the knee, that means that this particular stretch is not appropriate for me. I don't need to do it.
remember, no pain, no gain, no blockage. If there's no pain, you don't have a problem, you should not do it. But what happens is, so if you just put this one leg up, one leg down, there's no pain. So what I do is we put something called an ankle weight on the leg that is hanging down, put an ankle weight to add to the stretch. So I'll show you. You can buy it in Walmart. There's an ankle weight like this. You tie on your ankle. This is a 10-pound. You can get 3 pounds, 5 pounds, 20 pounds. So you just put this ankle weight on the leg that is hanging down. And then you feel more stretch. You have to generate, so it could be that the outer tendons and ligaments are okay, the inner ones are contracted. So when the inner ones are contracted, then you need more weight in order for them to stretch. So when you do this, Lajin, this exercise is like 14 different meridians in the body, including the back. So this can give you a lot of relief in the back. So you have leg problem. Remember that boy I was telling you who had twisted ankle? This was the main thing that helped him, because it just straightened all his ligaments and tendons. So just imagine, so the difference between yoga and this. In yoga, you have asanas, complicated asanas. A lot of them are very difficult to do. And plus you have movement in asanas. In this, no movement. You just lie like this. And I've seen people start sweating, just lying like this. And the pain happens, they start sweating. Because the energy, the chi starts flowing, and then, yeah, go ahead, Trivedi.
Because your arms, the moment you raise your arms, anything when you're above the heart, it's work for the heart, and that's why I suppose you start sweating. And the other thing I
That's
wanted,
another thing, yeah.
you switch your legs also with the same stretch, right, on the bench.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you do both the sides. Yeah, you always do the both. So you could do 5 minutes each, 10 minutes each. I tell you, when I went to Hong Kong, so I had been doing at my home improvising, and just as somebody said, just on the door, just I put a bench against the door and then do this. And it used to be very painful. When I went to Hong Kong, and there the supervisor lady, she came in and I was doing this, and it was painful. And she brought this 10-pound weight and started putting my leg. I said, oh, what are you doing? It's so, so she said, no, you have to do it. You have to come here. You have to learn properly. And she put the weight. I mean, it was so painful. She said, you have to stay there for 10 minutes. I could never do more than 5 minutes anyway without weight. And of course, after I was done, I felt so good. So don't be afraid of the pain. That is the important thing.
So that means on your hanging leg, your foot is not resting on the floor. There has to be a gap between the floor and the foot. That's when it'll be hanging and it'll be stretched.
Absolutely, yes. If it touches the floor, you have to raise your table. Otherwise, the bench. Otherwise, you won't get the stretch, right? So let me just see. Okay, here's another image. How to improvise. This is my niece in her home in California, Northern California. So I showed her. So what she did was, there was a bunch of cushions on the sofa. So she picked out all these cushions and piled them up and put them against this border. You see the edge? So around the edge, one leg up. Somebody said something? Yeah, and one leg hanging down.
So that leg, right? The other leg which is hanging down, it is not straight.
Yeah, that's the contraction. It should be straight. Absolutely.
No. The left leg which is on the wall is like 90 degrees, but the other leg is like down. Should be down or should it be straight?
No, this is vertically up and this is hanging down, freely down.
Okay.
So on one side you get in a hamstring stretch, which is the back of the thigh, and the other side you actually get in a psoas or a quadricep stretch, which is the front of the thigh. Is that what you're aiming for here?
Yeah, well, I mean, right now, when you're talking Chinese, talk in Chinese language, not in the Western gym language. What you're doing is you're addressing the meridians, right? The Chinese, remember, the meridians, the chi is flowing and there's a blockage. Blockage because of contraction of the ligaments, the tendons, the muscles, right? So you're stretching them so the chi can flow freely inside the whole body. So that's what happens really. And whatever string is, I mean, there's so different kind. I mean, I don't know. There's different kind of hamstrings, etc. They'll automatically stretch. Whatever has to stretch, it will stretch. Right. So you combine this with the Paida, the tapping, and you get a very powerful system. Very powerful system.
What happened if you put both legs up?
Well, I mean, you can try different things, but this is the best one.
Okay.
This is the best. There's hundreds of ways of doing this stretch. I mean, if you do yoga, yoga is also a stretch. Yoga has thousands of asanas. But I mean, I have done so many of them in the past. This is the most powerful, I tell you. I've seen so many people, because this actually heals. That's the difference. Yoga can also heal.
What is the benefit of one up, one down?
Well, I'll just repeat, right? It removes the blockage in the meridian. Mm-hmm. Everything is removal of blockage in the meridians. Blockage is what causes you problems, ailments, sickness, illness. It's all the blockage in the meridian. The chi has to flow freely.
Perhaps you can say, Sabha, and if you allow me, Shri Gupta, and correct me if I'm wrong, you are optimizing the stretches on both sides of the body. If one leg is, so you have to do it on both, right? And your tendons, your foot is also like this, your foot muscles and joints need to be stretched. And that can happen only with your hanging, like Gupta ji said, with your when your foot is hanging, and then additionally if you have that weight, if your foot is on the wall, that doesn't happen. So you want to stretch your foot also this way, and you want to stretch this way also, and target different muscles and parts of the body. And
In other words,
this is, I
stretch.
guess, the most efficient way, optimal way to do it. One, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the Chinese master, they did a lot of research into this. They tried different stretches. And remember, India and China, they worked very closely together centuries ago. So the yoga and the traditional Chinese medicine, they were hand in hand, and they used to discuss with each other and develop each other. So all this really actually came out of yoga, these systems. So in fact, this could be another yoga posture. That's it, another yoga asana. And you can do, and so this is an image from the Hong Kong workshop. This bunch of us, I'm here in this white shirt, standing in the corner. That's a different kind of stretch. And you see this one, this is if people who know yoga, is called the Kagasana. This is another stretch. You can have on this image, there's another kind of stretch. You just doing these arms and just standing 1 foot in front. And remember, in PaidaLajin, you do not move. You just stand like this.
For how long?
Easy, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, it gets difficult. Try to do it for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Very difficult to keep the hands like this. So that's how the stretch happens. I went to Bulgaria in a workshop. There's a 10-day workshop, Bulgaria. Bulgaria is very advanced in this. And there, one lady came in the workshop, a Bulgarian lady, and she was a gymnastic teacher. And gymnastics, of course, in Eastern Europe is very popular, gymnastics. They're very good in Olympics, etc. And on her hand, she couldn't move. Her hand, she could only move a little bit, just a little bit. And they did a lot of tapping here and there. And about an hour later, she could move the hand all around. And of course, she had gone through many different treatments. And
Okay, so when you said they did a lot of tapping here and there, now what are these here and there's? Have we covered all of them?
well, mostly here and the shoulders. That was the most of it. They did. There's so many things we can talk about, but I think it's much better to start at the fundamentals. So if you can just do 3 things, right, it'll go a long way. One is stretch the heart meridian. So start with the heart meridian, then do the stretch. After the stretch, do the back of the knee. Just 3 things. They can cover a lot of ground in your body.
Yeah, you said the stretch covers 14 meridians, right?
The stretch covers 14 meridians. Yes. Yeah.
So the order is first do the heart meridian, and then the stretch, and then the back of the knee.
Right.
What about the on the back of the hand for the?
After that, you do after that, right?
After knee, then do the back of the hand.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, if you do these first 3 things, that itself can solve so many problems, so many issues. If you start there, and then you can keep adding. You add the back of the hand, and you add your foot. And then we do other areas as well. You can do the head, you can do the ears. I mean, there's so many things you can do. And that is what happens in these workshops. So actually, we are going to have a workshop here. So the last workshop we had was in Denver, in Colorado, in July. And next one we're going to have here. I think so we already have about 8 people or so. So I think that we can, the room we have in somebody's house, about 10 people, 10, 12 people, we can accommodate. So we're going to have, it's only be one day, whole day. So we're going to do a workshop here.
Is it in
Um,
California?
No, I live in Florida.
Oh, you live in Florida. Okay.
Yeah, near Tampa. But if there's a place in California, somebody wants to, all you want to do is find a location, find a room somewhere, and 8 or 10 people can get together and we can do it. And we have practitioners in California as well, several. I think some of them are in this call, I think. But it's a very good experience.
When is in Florida happening? When is the workshop?
We are doing on the 12th of February, Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, which is 2 weeks from now. Yeah, approximately. Yeah, next is 5th, and then following Saturday, 12th of February. We're doing it here.
So what will you be adding, Gupta ji, in that this particular meeting in February that you have not covered here? Like, are there more points, or is it something just to facilitate each other's, the tapping and the stretching, or are you adding more information, like in addition to what you've just covered here?
Yeah, so there's several other techniques that you can do. One is called the meditative jogging that you can do. There's a wall hitting. See, when you see in this image, I'm standing near the wall. There's another kind of stretch. There's a little wedge on I'm standing. So that's another thing. It's called the Lajin board rather than Lajin bench that you can do. Plus, we also discuss everybody's problem. What problem do you have? And they look at the specifics. What else can you do? And there's something else also is done. Ultimately, toxins can be anywhere in the body. So you can actually tap anywhere in the body. So we tap many more points. We tap the backs, we tap the whole foot, all legs, the whole arm, the head. We do. Plus what we also do is, we have two other things. So every Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern, which is 10 a.m. Pacific, we have a Q&A session, 1 hour. And then we have some more experts, Chinese experts, Bulgarian experts, Italian experts. So people ask questions, their problems, they share their experience. We also have, just for the PaidaLajin, we have a Facebook group. It's called New PaidaLajin Global Facebook group. And then every Monday, 2 o'clock Eastern time, which is 11 o'clock Pacific, we have a Zoom practice session. So somebody leads, and then everybody else does it. So anybody who wants to do it, let me know, send me, and I'll include you in the distribution list. And you can, so in fact, tomorrow is Monday, right? Yes, yeah, so tomorrow to 11 o'clock, there'll be one session. And so somebody or the other leads it. So tomorrow, I think it's my turn to lead it. But otherwise, we have, these are great people who have done it for 10 years, 15 years, and they keep doing workshops, and professionals who guide us in these sessions. So everybody is welcome to do this. And we have people here who have benefited already, new people. I see Pablo from New York, and he has benefited quite a bit. He only started a few months back.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Share your experience, please. What was your problem and what was the gain?
God, this is I'll try to say it very quickly. I started it because I was looking for some help to deal with tinnitus. I got tinnitus after my second dose of the Pfizer vaccine. I'm not saying that it was because of the Pfizer vaccine, but it happened very close afterwards. And I know it's happened to other people, but I don't know how I came into Jin and Master Jin and Shri. And I think through Facebook or somehow I came into PaidaLajin. Shri gave me a personal workshop, and I started going to those meetings that he mentioned. And I have noticed a lot of improvements in my health. I haven't cured the tinnitus, but it feels better. I still have the sound. Is tinnitus, if you guys know, it's the sound in your ear. Paida has helped it, but it hasn't cured completely. So, but I know that I'm in the right road to the cure, I'm sure. And there has been some improvements in my body. For example, what can I mention? There's a few, but I'll just mention I had 2 toenails that for years there were the nails were getting darker and darker, and it looked like it was spreading towards the other toes. And not that I Paida on the toes or anything, but after I Paida a little bit, maybe for a month, continuously in different parts of the body, I noticed those nails were completely clear, like they were when I was in my 20s. So that's one example, but there are other examples. Today, in the meeting, I mentioned I've also suffered from fat deposits. By the way, the nails, the doctor, I went to a doctor, and the doctor took a sample. A month later, he said, oh yeah, it's fungus on your toes. He says, the medicine will cost you almost $2,000, and there's no guarantee that it will work. And it could affect your liver and other parts of your body. Those were his words. So, I'm sold with Paida. I think, it didn't cost me a penny, just a little bit of work. And I'm sure that's what it was. I also have suffered from fat deposits. Those are little, I forget the technical name. I have to find out the doctor's name. One doctor removed one of them in my stomach for also building my insurance for many thousands of dollars. So I had another one on my leg, which I started to Paida with a stick and other things that I use. It's almost gone. It's almost completely gone. Plus the other ones that I've had around the body that were not as protruding, that were not as intense, are also very soft now. So I know Paida is working on my body, and I know eventually I'm going to cure my tinnitus for sure.
I am so happy to hear that. And I'm very glad that it's working for you. And I am so additionally doubly happy that it cost you nothing. It only required a little bit of your time. So how long are you tapping? Are you doing it every day?
Yes, I am doing it every day. And it's not a little bit of time. Honestly, it's time consuming. I've had to put other things of interest in the back of, back burner, like they say, because to me, this is important. So I spent easily an hour a day, sometimes not even counting the stretching. Sometimes I do mostly Paida, but I could easily say an average of an hour a day. And I try to do the stretching also, but I really feel like it's helping me a lot.
Yes.
In many ways, not only physically, but also psychologically. I'm more positive. I think I'm a happier person.
Nice. Yeah, your thoughts are flowing. I mean, energy is flowing freely. Energy in the body is not compartmentalized. It flows through all our cells, including our brain, flow of
Yeah.
energy is going everywhere. And what I also want to say is that, we have to understand and realize that we can't be going after immediate gratifications, like you pop a pill and then something becomes right, because it does not work like that. There is no magic pill
No.
that will set your systems right, especially like tinnitus, right? Your toenail, there will be adverse effects, there will be side effects if you are trying to aggressively target and bombard one particular part of your body. Your body doesn't work like that. It is one beautiful machine which is running in a symphony. right? So
Yes.
we have to understand one thing very well, that we need to put in that time, like you are doing with Paida, right? Somebody else will do with yoga, or somebody will do with something else, some other technique. There are so many techniques around us, abundantly, put all over the world in different
Yes.
cultures. And what is the point of being connected? We talk about communication, our distances, world is becoming short. When we are not able to transport, convey all this, exchange all this beautiful knowledge and wisdom that exists in different parts of the world, this is what technology should be used for: dissemination of information that can help humanity, all humanity, irrespective of where they are located. That is the use of technology and being connected. And thank you so much for sharing this information, Pablo. And thank you so much, Shriji, for Gupta ji, for sharing this wonderful technique. One thing that came to my mind, is like, if you are angry, if your spouse is angry, your children are angry, you can tell your children, okay, you can take out your anger on me, just come and slap me everywhere.
Great. Can I have a question? This is
Sure.
great. I agree everything you said. Um, for me, I've done so many modality like tap solution and acupuncture, all kind of things. And but the question I have is, would this work for someone that have hernia?
Hernia where? It can be many
Hernia in
spots.
his someone who's
Groin
um,
area.
in his stomach. It's my brother.
Well, so I have heard instances where people have been able to fix their hernias.
Hmm.
So, and I believe now we have to revise. There's a book also where it describes it. You have to do directly where the hernia is. So this is what happens. So when you're in a workshop situation where you have more practitioners and people more experienced, then you can try many things. Then you have time. So the very first thing, not everybody, if you talk to them and explain this technique, not everybody is willing to try it. Pablo was willing to try it.
Hmm.
He spent time to it and he benefited. So I've told, like I have literally
Absolutely. For
thousands
sure.
of people have shown this technique. Not everybody, some people just walked away, said, no, I don't believe in this. This is useless. You're talking nonsense. Some people start doing it painful. Oh, it'll do harm to me. There's a bunch of people who said, no, I feel good. I want to do it. And they've changed their lives.
You have to be open-minded.
Yes, you're willing to receive it, then you will tweak it. I mean, Pablo has come up with, he's come up with special tools and innovation, right? I mean, this is what it is. You learn it and you extend it, right? You innovate on it, make it better. So that's what it is. So if your brother or whoever decides that they have this condition, hernia, whatever it is, and I want to fix it, I tell you, he will be able to fix it, but he must want it. Only he can heal and cure himself. Nobody else can.
Yeah. Actually, he went to the doctor. They put him on the table. They were going to do surgery on him. He freaked out. I have to get another opinion. And then he went to a second doctor. He was getting ready to operate him. And then he said, I'll be back. And then he started doing research, and he find out a lot of modality that people that can do. They can heal themselves also. So, and then I find out some video also, but it was like a yoga part, yoga and then breathing exercise also. So I was just checking if this kind of modality works also. Uh, but they were ready to do surgery on him. So, and then the same thing with me with my breast also. And then I don't want to do it, so I heal myself. I had like stuff growing. So I healed myself also. So yeah, this is great work, you know. Everything, like you said, our body has can heal, but we have to take the time and work on it.
See,
So
you are a living example that you healed
Right.
yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But if you want, if your brother wants to, I'll be willing to talk to anytime.
Okay,
so
but he
we'll
live in
need your
Germany.
contact info.
Sure.
He is on
Um,
the group, Anjali. He's on the group Sustainable Health for All.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's you. Sorry, I didn't know that. So yeah, okay. So you're contactable.
Yes.
I'll contact you. I have uric acid problem. My uric acid is gone to 7.25. So how do I cure that one? Any
There are
ideas?
When I was age 28, I had the same problem.
So
A
I'll
long
Okay.
time,
email you
50
then.
years ago. 50, I mean 45 years ago, something like that.
So it's
But anyway,
curable.
feel free to talk to me. I think it's
Yes.
probably getting late, right? So
Yes. Yes.
you have my contact.
Yeah.
And if you want, anybody wants to, Chaviji, she has my contact, and my contact is open. So anytime, just send me an email, whatever. We can set a time. We can talk.
Sure.
Glad
Thank you
to.
very much.
Thank you.
And send me an email, and we'll add you to our PaidaLajin groups that meet
Hmm.
every week.
Thank you.
any other question anyone has related to PaidaLajin?
Maybe I'll talk to you later also. I would like to know a little bit about the back pain and the knee pains. If there is anything, maybe if I can get in touch with you. I have knee issues little
Sure,
bit
yeah. You send me an email, and then we'll talk.
Okay.
Yeah, send me an email and
So-
we'll talk.
Somebody mentioned sustainable health for all. What is that? And just last question.
Okay, yeah, that's a group, that's a WhatsApp group that that I started a couple of years ago, and there is a Facebook presence also. It's called Sustainable Health for All. So we discuss various techniques, just like Gupta ji shared today with us, PaidaLajin. So that there are multiple pathways to healing. There is Ayurveda, there is naturopathy, and there is, which includes food-based therapy. And I am pretty sure a lot of techniques that we discuss here, and I myself am doing a training actually on advanced nutrition therapy, and there is so much I'm learning of how food can, the benefits that it brings to our body with amazing results. And I am convinced that every condition is reversible. Almost every, I would not say 100%, but close to that. We can get rid of our conditions, and fairly quickly also, not like it doesn't take, because the fact is that every cell in our body is renewed, within 2 years. Every cell in our body gets renewed, and if we provide our body with this chi, which Gupta ji talked about, with the right foods, with all the combined, right emotional mental makeup, our thoughts also, there is no reason why the cells are full of energy and healthy, right? So that means once healthy cells are restored in the body, it automatically means that disease has gone. So, Sabah, which you were talking about, I am sure PaidaLajin will help you. Also, coincidentally, I was just talking to somebody, and that person has cured himself of 4 conditions, and one of them is hernia. So one was an enlarged heart. He had an enlarged heart. He had a hernia. He was also sleepless. And there was a fourth condition, which is slipping my mind right now. And all of them, he's 76 now, and he can do 108 Surya Namaskars at a go on every day, daily. And I will be inviting,
Wow.
I will be interviewing him, and probably I will do a series of 4 interviews, and I'm going to have him share how he got rid of all these 4 conditions using himself, by empowering himself with the right knowledge. So connect with Gupta ji, connect with Sustainable Health for All. I have a YouTube channel, Savera Girl, SAVERAGIRL, on which I will be posting his interviews too. and a lot of information will go on there which are health related. I do have this intention that I have sent to the universe of connecting this group to different pathways of healing, and who knows what works for everybody. There are different,
Absolutely.
like Pablo has experienced success with PaidaLajin, and all of us will also experience, and I'm going to add it myself in a routine. If you're sitting, uh, driving or whatever as a navigator, one can easily do these techniques, right?
Right.
So,
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Great.
Gupta ji, I am so grateful that you took the time, and I would like to have we will have another session after people have absorbed this, and some of you who are here have experienced success after you have put it into practice. Please share, come back and share your successes. Share with Gupta ji. Gupta ji is there on the group, Sustainable Health, or I'm just going to share his email after we end this meeting also. I will put up his contact information, his email, and please reach out to him and and heal yourself. There is no reason for us to be dependent on anyone.
Right.
Absolutely.
Made us
Absolutely. Well said.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.